icon Ryan Ermanni, University of Michigan great Braylon Edwards, and of course, Maz are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network, Woodward Sports.
And welcome to the Ermanni and Edwards show with Maz right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Braylon Edward once again, but he will be in tomorrow, so don't worry, I will be out of here. The man to my left will be back, though, tomorrow. That is Anson Wells. He's sitting in for Ryan Ermanni today, who's on vacation. It's winter break at all the schools, so it's a good time for all the families to take their vacation. My kids' winter break ended today, so back to school. Never really understood why parents really loved that thing back in the day, but the 8 hours a day that get killed at school and then the 2 hours on the bus, 10 hours a day. Not that I don't want to see my kid for 10 hours a day. It's just nice to, she gets off the bus at 4:30. She's in bed by 7:30.
Right.
I can handle 3 hours. We got Ricky Burns here. Of course, Pete. And man, this dude, I don't think you've touched the airwaves in a year.
Hey, it's Maz.
It's the new Maz.
Hey, it's Maz. I laid off pizza, everybody. I know I look a little bit different. I just laid off the pizza. You know that New York pizza is too good.
Laid off the razor, too, I see.
Yeah, right?
No, actually, Joey shaved this morning. That's the crazy thing about Joey.
I believe it.
I got the shadow back already. Yeah.
For those who don't know, that is Mr. Joey Radio, one of the founders of this here Woodward Sports Network.
It's been a long time since I've talked sports on the air.
Well, even when we had you on the morning show, you really weren't talking sports.
I got kicked off. I got kicked. It was that bad I got kicked off.
And he also led our basketball team in ejections as well, correct?
Yes.
That too.
The Ferndale Basketball League,
That too.
0-8.
I'm in a different league right now. I'm still getting ejections.
You can hoop. I will give you that. You got the Euro step, the cradle down. You're a fiery guard out there, man. I was impressed.
He's Ginobili. He's the Chaldean
Yes, he
Ginobili.
is.
And I even got the bald spot to go with it. For real. You know what's messed up is I was called Ginobili at such a young age because my game was similar to him. And then I developed the bald spot, and I was like, damn, now I really am Ginobili.
Foreshadowing by your friend. Foreshadowing.
So, Joey, you were in here because we're talking about our March Madness bracket that's coming up.
Oh.
We're going to be offering some big prizes again this year, so it's going to be fun.
Yeah, March Madness bracket's always a fun one, right? Because you don't have to know anything about college basketball.
No, it's usually
or
the
anything.
people who don't that win.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. No one knows college basketball. You can't keep up with all the teams that are in there because it's usually always an underdog that takes it, and it's just a fun time for everybody.
Well, and recently, I mean, the underdogs are really going far. 1 seeds are losing. How do you pick teams nowadays,
Joey just picks us by the cute mascots.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, you gotta go off of the cheerleaders and how they look,
Colors.
and the logo, and if it's a good logo or not.
Smart.
So what else going on, Joey? Well, we got you here. I mean,
We got shout out Sean, our boy Sean over there with Tito's in the house.
Tito's, throw that up on the back screen real quick.
got it, buddy.
Let's shout out Tito's. They're in the house right now, but got some big things coming with them. Maybe opening day coming up with Tito's.
Look at that.
Maybe some watch parties with Tito's.
look at
Maybe
that.
Michigan State watch party with Tito's. Maybe Team USA watch party with Tito's.
boy, Thursday.
USA! 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 Are you excited for
We'll be
tomorrow
watching
night?
that game Thursday.
RJ's.
Ooh, there it is in Rochester. One of my old haunts. It's going to be a good time, man.
Don't tell the stories.
Pete is living vicariously through one of Anson's stories about a lovely
Wait, it's a
young
Pete
lady.
story? Or it's
No, it's an Anson story.
Oh, it's an
okay.
Anson story.
We'll save that for after.
Yes.
It's not fit for Fox 2.
For anybody.
I'm shocked they still put us on after yesterday.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. We got an email, but we're good.
Did we? Did we really?
Listen,
No,
Ryan and Braylon will be back soon, and everything will be fine.
So that's why you started the show by saying, "Don't worry, they'll be back tomorrow."
I had to preface, this is the last day you got to put up with us.
Is this actually on Fox 2 right now, or did they get rid of it for today?
They tape delay it. They play it at night.
Yeah.
So shout out Fox 2. Shout out to everybody watching on YouTube, watching on Twitch, and of course on Twitter. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and doing all that stuff. Trying to get the chat to pull up, but my phone's not pulling up right now. So shout out to everybody in the chat right now. Thank you for being a part of the conversation. We got lots of stuff to talk to. But first, breaking news. It hit right before we hit this desk today. Man, a first-round pick for the Detroit Pistons is coming back to the NBA. Killian Hayes has signed with the Brooklyn Nets coming from the depths of the G League back to the real league. And Killian Hayes, obviously, he's a lightning rod here in Detroit. Joey, you remember when you interviewed Sada Baby?
Yeah, oh my, grilled him.
Not a fan of Killian Hayes.
Grilled him.
Yeah, so when Killian left town, a lot of people were happy about it. And it's just crazy. This is a guy who just won't seem to go away. The name is just going to haunt you till the end of time. Killian Hayes is just going to keep popping up in ways, and it's like, oh, God, this guy. All he does is make me think of how he whiffed on Tyrese Halliburton. That's all I think. I hear Killian Hayes. I hear we miss Tyrese Halliburton. That's all I hear.
It's one thing to fail on a draft pick. It's another to miss a guy that played for Team USA this year. You know, that whole draft, that first-year draft for Troy Weaver, did really well with his draft picks after that, but he really missed that one bad. But at the same point, if you got Tyrese Halliburton in red, white, and blue, you probably don't get Cade Cunningham.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, you're not getting that number 1 overall pick, but maybe you do get Wemby down the road. Who knows?
Stop.
Who knows?
Stop it.
I mean, if we're going to play negative what ifs, I'm going to counter with some positive what ifs.
That one, I would lose sleep over the idea of that. I love the idea of the alien here, but
yeah, the
it was
Pistons.
not to be.
The Pistons were a couple ping pong balls away from already having a dynasty. Can you imagine Cade, Wemby, and Chet all on the same
That's the
squad?
deal. Those three,
man.
unbelievable.
Oh, and it could have happened. Didn't happen, but it could have happened.
Very close.
So there you go. Killian Hayes back in the league. You care
So you
about
started this segment by saying just some big breaking news. I'm waiting for it.
Killian Hayes.
Man, you said that like 6 minutes ago.
I was excited. Killian Hayes.
What a bum, man.
I don't care about him or the Nets. I mean, they're both trash at this point, so I don't really see him making much of a dent in the roster, but they're that bad. You might actually see him play a little bit. I mean, the kid, he's a good kid. He's defensive-minded, but all he has is a left hand, and everybody in the league knows it.
Yeah, he had a year. Like, Rule was pointing out that he was, top 8 in assists 1 year.
I didn't know
assists
that.
per game. So, I mean, he's got some game, but yeah, he not a
Because
Piston
they wouldn't
anymore.
let him shoot, Stick.
Well, he couldn't shoot. And the fact that Monty Williams started him over Jaden Ivey is criminal. Absolutely criminal. And that stunted Jaden Ivey's growth. Like, a Monty Williams experiment. It's crazy. They put out a list of, the highest paid NBA coaches. And Monty Williams, Gores is still paying him $13 million a year, which would have put him at the 5th highest paid NBA coach.
Crazy.
So say what you want about Tom Gores messing up and signing Monty Williams. He also bit the bullet and said, you know what, I'm willing to pay this guy $13 million not to coach us, and look at the addition by subtraction.
Well, and it was purely Tom's mistake because Weaver didn't want him. Weaver didn't want Monty, and it was Gores that pushed to get Monty. That was the first, and aside from Trajan Langdon, the only good move that I've seen out of Tom Gores since he's been the owner here in Detroit. But
sometimes that's all you need is that one good move, right? Put you on the
100%.
right
Right.
trajectory, the right
Right.
path, and here the Pistons are. I mean, they're going to be a playoff team this year.
I mean, he made both those decisions in the same offseason, and this team looks completely different. In fact, they remind us all of a lot of the old teams that we loved. Obviously playing mostly at the Palace, but this is a true Bad Boys 3.0, the way that they play the game, their physicality, their intensity, and these guys love to play defense.
And that's what wins in the NBA nowadays. Like the pendulum, which, Ricky, we were talking about the pendulum.
Pendulum always swings.
It always swings back. And the NBA, all offense, 3-point shooting, no defense, like an
now we're
NBA
like,
All-Star
nah.
game every night. Now you're starting to see teams like the Pistons win with defense, win with effort. And all you need is one team to set the standard, and it'll swing back the other way.
Yeah, that was the one thing I'll say about All-Star Weekend. That was good, that we saw defense in All-Star Weekend again. I mean, it was for 5 minutes, but we saw defense again, which was great.
And those 40-point games.
Oh, my God.
Kenny was out
We
there
gotta get out of
counting
it.
blocks. There were some blocks in that game, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that was the upside of that.
Yeah,
You know,
Jaren
one step
Jackson
forward,
Jr.
3
was
steps back.
playing. Him and Wemby were out there actually really playing.
I thought him and Kay were going to fight at one point.
I know.
That's what we need. We need
Right.
more of that. Like I need more intensity when I'm watching those things, and we got to tip our cap to the NHL. You want to talk
Yeah.
about intensity in your All-Star experience? the amount of hype here at Woodward Sports for this Team USA versus
Man.
Team Canada
Oh, yeah.
thing,
Real.
like it feels bigger than like when the Tigers were in the playoffs. Honestly, like the buzz around here, people wanting to watch the game together. Pete saying, "Should I bring my American flag?"
Yeah, baby.
And I say, "You dress like an eagle if you can, Pete."
Yeah, dude.
Bring an
I
eagle.
will.
Just bring an eagle.
Bring an eagle? All right, here you go.
There you go.
That photo's amazing.
I love you, Canada.
No, we talked about it before. You weren't here, Stick, but we talked about it before. It's something about the Red Wings. Even if you're not a hockey fan like me, there's something about when the Red Wings were winning back in the 90s and something about Detroit that is our team. And it's just great. It's great to see hockey just getting back to that pedestal that it was.
Well, you saw it this year with the Lions, right? Whenever
Yeah.
you get a team that has some success, you get the expansion of your fan base. And we're going to talk about who has the best fan base coming up later in the show. But those are the fringe fans that have just been waiting. They're waiting for a winner, then they'll root for you. And, yeah, whenever you win, it doesn't matter if you're the Red Wings. It doesn't matter if you're the Lions, Pistons.
Yeah.
If you're a winner in this city, I mean, remember when the Rockers were winning or the Vipers were winning?
Vipers.
The Vipers used to sell out the Palace.
Satan.
IHL champion Vipers.
Yeah, man.
Pick
And
up
we
your
used to get
tickets
those
at
family
Speedway.
4-packs. Yeah, we used to get those family 4-packs.
Yeah, just
It was
go
a good
pick.
night.
They had like a stack of them on the checkout counter at Speedway.
Grab
You
'em.
walk in.
Stacks
But it
on
was the same
stacks.
thing. Remember the Rockers, no soccer, and
Yeah.
they play in Cobo Hall.
Oh, we had
Right.
Safari at one point. I remember that.
Who?
The Safari.
They used to play. Yeah, they used to play at They used to play at the Palace. They're a soccer team.
Oh, really?
The Safari?
The Safari. Y'all remember? Oh, I gotta give me a Safari jersey. I'm gonna pull it up.
This
me a
whole
jersey.
rivalry between the U.S. and Canada, it's always been there in hockey. But
Oh,
the
yeah.
stuff that's going on politically right now with the 51st state has charged this game to like the nth degree. We've always, we've paid attention to the USA and Canada matchups, and when USA loses, we don't really care. But there is so much bragging rights on the line for this game, like I've never experienced. This reminds me of the first time that Croatia and Serbia played soccer in like 20 years. We went over to the old Troy Spectadium, and they had to separate everybody in the actual building.
You don't mess
but
with
it
those
was it was
Serbs.
bananas. I'm just wondering how many Canadians are going to beat RJ.
I don't know. Canadians, are you going to stay home in your little safe country that we protect? Who knows? Who knows what you're going to do? What? You're living
Before
in
you
the
get in
attic
trouble.
of the most...
No, before you stop. Before you get in trouble, I found it.
We got Safari info.
Before you really get us kicked off Fox 2. Yeah, Safari. So Palace of Auburn Hills, 1994 to 1997, was a member of the Continental Indoor Soccer League. They played at the Palace of Auburn Hills. Their owners were the Palace Sports Group. They were awarded the franchise November 4th, 1993. So it was only for a couple years, but I remember going to those games.
Safari.
Yeah.
Man, that's a deep cut.
Got their logo
That's a
coming
deep
up.
cut.
That is a
I'm
deep
Detroit
cut.
AF.
I went to Safari.
As the kids say.
Did you know who they were, Joey?
I'm getting the logo.
I was
Throw
born
up
in
that
93.
graphic.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Throw up that graphic, Pete, because
The logo is fire.
Here it is.
It's got like
Here it
the hand. Yeah, the logo is fire. Now look at it. Yeah.
Man, look at the resolution of that one. Take that off. You're embarrassing us.
Street Fighter.
1990s. That's as 90s as it gets right there.
that was high resolution in 1990.
Right. It looks like Street Fighter. That's like Street Fighter when it first came on.
Dude, totally. There you go. That's probably
An
where they got the
8-bit
influence
logo.
for it.
That looks like a logo that was on a
They-
Forever 21 t-shirt back in the day.
Yeah, they were originally the Detroit Neon.
Oh, I
Okay.
remember them.
Yeah, so
I remember them.
I guess they became the Safari. I already knew the Safari.
That's great.
We gotta bring those back.
I didn't know we had a Safari in Detroit.
We gotta start making the jerseys for on the merch.
The Safari. That's like the Flint Tropics.
Right,
That makes
right.
no sense in Detroit. That makes absolutely no sense. What safari is anybody going on in Detroit?
Just the concrete jungle, man. That's all it is.
That is the weirdest name that they could have picked.
That's better than Neon.
Yeah, I guess. But
It's a color. So it's an ambience.
it's literally the Flint Tropics. What's going on safari?
Is 8 Mile the Safari? I mean, what's the Safari? in
Watch
Detroit?
yourself, Pete.
Hey,
Watch yourself, Pete.
We are never alive.
Throw up that hockey graphic. Let's get off this topic.
I'm sorry, Dina Santafanti. I apologize.
Throw up that 10 million people.
You got it, buddy.
Yeah, love this. That's how big this hockey game is. And I love that they put North America in here because it's not just us here in America. This game means so much more to Canada than it does to Americans that I feel like Americans are playing with house money. If we lose, it's like, yeah, Canada's supposed to beat us in the sport that they love. But if we win, again, twice in the same week? Like, come on. So, like, we're in the bird seat, right? Like, there's no losing for the United States in this. But obviously a win during this climate, referring to them booing our national anthem.
Wild.
Like, come on. You got to get the win. You got to get, like, I don't think I've been rooting so hard for something in a long time. Like, even more than the Lions, honestly. Like, this is country warfare. This is not city versus city.
For real.
Right.
This is us versus them. Laws on the line.
Real beef.
Tariffs. Everything.
What if Trump came out and just said, like, the tariffs are based on this game?
Oh my God. Come on, dude. Oh, that's great.
It's funny because it could happen.
That's great.
Every goal is a percentage point.
Right.
Dude, that is great.
Sorry, Kelly Rowe. Don't get me mad.
Twitter right now
Apologize
is
to everybody at Fox 2.
my new favorite pastime is watching Canadians politely talk smack because they're not very good at it, and then they keep coming back to like they're comparing Super Bowls to Grey Cups. Do you know
What
that
is
in the
a Grey
Canadian
Cup?
Football League that they have an MVC?
What? Most valuable Canadian?
Correct.
Yes.
They have a most valuable Canadian award, but they also have the most valuable player award because clearly American rejects from the NFL go up north and dominate.
Oh, they segregated. They got segregated.
Well, no, they got to honor their guys too. But do you know how many times the MVC was also the MVP?
I don't like that.
Oh, God,
Martin
how
Luther King
many?
would not like that.
One
That is
time.
segregation.
That's
One
not-
time, only
one
one
time?
time was a Canadian player the best player in the Grey Cup.
I did not know this.
And then they're going doubling down, and people are like, oh, but you only got one championship. They're like, yeah, well, basketball's American. Nope, that was invented in Canada by
Naismith.
Naismith. Thank you, Dr. James Naismith. And then the very first recorded baseball game ever played, I know Abner Doubleday created baseball, but the very first recorded baseball game was in Canada as well. So how many times the Blue Jays won it? How many times the Expos won it? And how many times the Toronto Raptors won it?
We can do this all
Blue
day.
Jays
You can
won
go to
3
golf.
times.
Golf was invented, Ireland, hundreds of years ago?
Yep.
They had no idea
Where
Tiger
are the
Woods
Irish
was coming.
golfers at, man?
They have no idea Tiger Woods was coming. He never even been to Ireland. They had no idea he was coming.
It did not.
I mean, it just goes to show that no matter where it's invented or what's invented, America's going to do it better. Like, no matter what it is, we're
I
the
wish
best.
I can play some
True
American
story.
music without getting sued.
We're the
Man, that's
best. We
perfect
just
timing.
we wake up and we piss excellence. That's just how it is. But yeah, we're having a watch party. It's going down at RJ's Pub in Rochester Hills. So you want to come out, paint your face, do whatever you got to do. Get excited for this game. This is just fun, right? I mean, at the end of the day, that's the cool part about this. It's the hockey game. This isn't like the Miracle on Ice where it's the Cold War happening and you can't beat the Russians. Like, but this has been fun. And to your point about Canadians talking trash, like, I think. Remember how I pointed out how, like, everybody looks at the Lions as, like, very nice last year, the fans, rooting for you, lovable losers. Like, I feel that's how Americans have viewed Canadians for a long time. Like,
No
yeah,
doubt.
they're cute, they're not a threat. But now they're starting to get loud, they're starting to get chirpy, and we're starting to learn that Canadians are not as nice as they lay out to be.
Right?
Nope, not at all. Not at all.
Sorry.
It's a new Canada.
Sorry.
Sorry.
There you go, Joe. Sorry.
And I love Canada. I love Windsor.
I love poutine. Poutine
What?
and fries.
Oh, okay.
Maple syrup.
At the same point, I think it's really cool for Detroiters because we haven't had a hockey game to get excited about in a decade. Am I wrong?
That's true.
I mean, obviously the Red Wings are on their way right now, but this is something this is hockey town. So we really get a game to go out. I mean, I haven't been excited to watch a hockey game in 20 years, probably. At least, 2008? So going on 17 years now. It's cool.
I think that's a great point too, because you got the Dylan Larkin aspect to it, right? Who's the guy who scored the goal? It was our guy here in Detroit. So maybe you are right. Like in Detroit, we probably got a little bit more buzz, and you factor in Canada is literally
Right there.
across the
We
river.
all got Canadian friends.
Yeah, we've all come in contact with a Canadian from time to time here.
I was talking to a Canadian girl through text, and I sent her the green squirt gun, and she lost her mind. Americans love guns. You're scaring
Damn
me.
right
I'm
we
like,
do.
Whoa.
Damn right we do.
Man.
She's the reason it had to turn to a squirt gun, because when the emoji first came out, it was a real gun.
Oh, that's true.
And then they
This
were
is
like,
true.
"Oh, that's too violent. You got to put it as a squirt gun."
Canadians can't handle it.
The Canadians can't handle it. Well, coming up tomorrow night, make sure you're out in Rochester with us. Just have some fun. Pete, you're going to be out there. I know.
Oh, I'm going to be out there,
Justin's coming in from Western Michigan for this watch party. I know Kool-Aid's going to be out there. So
Cool.
we're going to have a bunch of people hanging out. Anson, I know you're going to be there
Anson's
because it's
gonna be
close
there.
to your house.
They're living his
Justin's
old memories.
hype. Our resident hockey expert is hype for this game.
Yes, he is.
Honestly, if you would have told me like 3 months ago that we'd be in here excited talking about hockey in February, I would have just looked at you.
And leading the show with it.
Right. It's the number one topic, man. It's A, B, and C. Well, besides Killian Hayes. We had to hit on Killian Hayes. But it's the buzz around here. You walk through here, you know, Brady's getting all the broadcast equipment ready. Anson's talking. You're asking me about an American flag. You know, is D-Mac going to be there, and are we allowed to trash Canada while D-Mac's in front of us? And yes, and yes.
But I mean, you got our captain saying that was one of the best experiences of his life, playing in that game.
Yep.
Right.
So
And winning.
what is tomorrow going to be?
The second best?
No, it's got to be
the
better,
first.
right?
Oh, yeah, the championship.
If
Oh,
we
yeah,
win,
right. Better than the best.
Assuming they win.
Yeah.
That
They
crowd
got
in
it, man.
Boston is going to be absolutely insane.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I mean, you remember the feeling of last, I don't want to bring this up, but everybody looking for Super Bowl tickets last year with the Lions.
yeah.
That's what people were doing now. It was like, I want to go to Boston to see this game.
it was the most
point.
bet on hockey game of all time.
Yes, it was.
The last time they played, so this is clearly going to do the same thing.
And
Yes,
it's
it
in
is.
Boston. That trash talk there is going to be wild.
And that was the cool part about going into Canada and beating them for the first game. Now they get to come after
gotta come
booing
to
our
Boston,
national anthem.
of all places?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're going to be talking
It's too
crazy.
bad it's not in Philly.
Yeah, Philly would be rough, too.
Unfortunately,
Baltimore.
like
They do it in Baltimore.
during the football season, everyone's like, "Oh, Philly fans are mean." Now, when we need a mean place to
Yeah.
put someone, we're like, "Let's
Go
send
to
them to Philly. They'll take care of them.
to Philly.
We'll make it rough on them by
And
sending
the
them to
Bruins
Philly."
are going to be without one of their own, which is like kind of weird. They're one of the star defensemen actually for the USA
Yeah.
team. McAvoy, he is out for the game with a.
Oh, McAvoy, no.
Yeah, no, Charlie McAvoy. I hear you. Yeah, no, he's out. This poor guy went to the hospital with an upper body injury. So
Well,
God,
and then it got infected.
Then it got
right?
infected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is-
Yeah.
So and
I
he-
need more details. Upper
so-
body? That's
Well,
vague.
that's the hockey term. Yeah, that's the hockey term.
Sounds
That's
like
what they call it.
But and here's the deal, right? That like as much as we love this kind of all-star experience because these guys are giving it all, that's going to be the side effect. And like eventually what's going to happen is what in the NBA, they're not going to play it like that's what happened to the other sports, right?
Right.
Started getting paid too much money. There's too much to risk on a pretty much intramural game. Why would I go risk my $25 to $50 million a year contract to show that I can already play basketball, football, or baseball like that? And that's why I love this intensity. You need it, and this is what makes it great when you're actually seeing the best in the world be the best in the world. But then when some guy gets hurt, it's like, oh, business decisions got to be made. I'm not screwing up my whole career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a question for you guys. We saw 3 fights in the first minute of the last matchup between these two teams. How many of you guys thinking we're going to see in the first minute here?
I don't think many. I don't think it's going to start off like
straight
that.
to business.
I think they're serious about this one. I think the Canadian team came in kind of full of themselves, like, oh, we're going to beat you down, we're going to boo your anthem, and then we're going to beat you at our place. And that didn't happen. So I imagine with all the backlash that we've seen on social media over the last week, Canadians are coming they're meaning business.
Yeah.
Like they're coming with their A game. They're not looking to put guys into the penalty box. So I'm with you, Stick. I put that over under at a 0.5 fights, and I don't think we're going to see any.
Oh, I think we will see fights. I just don't think it's going to be in the
Not in the
first
first
9
minute.
seconds.
Yeah,
It's not going to be like it was.
we're
John
gonna see
effing
fights.
Lord in the chat, a bench clearing fight.
Oh,
I
please.
want,
Yeah, man.
yeah, I want to see someone take off their skate and stab someone.
Oh,
Let's take it to Happy Gilmore style. Yeah,
I got to find the best NHL.
Sorry, Lee Thomas. He didn't mean that.
I forget who was. I was watching ESPN, and I forget who was saying that they. Oh, it was Wilbon. He was saying that they should take the fighting out of this and treat it more like Olympic hockey,
Stop
where
it.
if you're fighting,
up.
you're gone.
Shut
and,
up.
And exactly. No.
Shut up.
No. Like fighting it's part of the sport.
Yes.
It's part of what excites people,
Yes.
and it's part of what you need for the drama. Look how much. How much have we talked about that first 9 seconds of that game?
Yeah, right.
A lot. That's been the topic of conversation. Hell, I don't even remember the final score, but I can tell you there were 3 fights in 9 seconds.
Fighting is just part of hockey. All my friends that played hockey growing up, whenever they talk about their like a game or their stats, they always mention the fights in it. They be like, I got 2 goals and I got this fight. It was like, I feel like it's just part of it.
Yeah.
The Gordie Howe hat trick.
Yep.
Well, the Gordie Howe hat trick is a goal,
An
an
assist,
assist, and a fight.
And a fight.
See?
Nice.
I didn't
I
know
never
it was
heard
a
that before. I
term.
like
Yeah.
But
that.
did you
That's
know
amazing.
Gordie
Gordie
Howe
Howe hat
only
trick.
had like 2 of those in his career?
Yes.
Like they're called the Gordie Howe hat trick, but he only did it twice.
Right, exactly.
It's one of the. It's a cool thing to be named after you. But once I found
We should
out,
petition to change that to D-Mac's name.
D-Mac's name.
For
There
real.
you go. Well, he scored the game winner against Philly.
Call Mr. NHL.
Guys, I'm going to show you something really, really cool here. You guys want to talk about fights in hockey? This is I think it was like the 70s, definitely 70s. Bruins Rangers
I
got.
would never swing on a hockey player. That's the crazy
Dude, I'm telling you,
thing.
that's what hockey's all about.
that's so disrespectful to take a man's shoe off and hit him with it. Like that's just.
Unfortunately, I've seen that in real life. Yeah,
That's
it is wild.
incredibly disrespectful.
You've seen that in real
I've
life,
seen
eh,
that
right?
in real life. It was a flip-flop. I'll tell you about it after.
The flip-flop.
A flip-flop.
Oh, that's great.
I don't know if we're gonna get to that style of warfare Thursday night, but I think there will be some fights, and I think part of it is these guys want to put on a show. Like D-Mac talked about it. Some of that stuff is like, hey, we know during this game we're gonna go at it, and then you line up at the circle and you look at each other and like, now, all right, and that's what happened with Colorado and D-Mac back in the day too. Like, they knew they were gonna fight, and that's why they fought. As soon as the puck dropped, drop the gloves, let's go. And that's part of the culture of hockey. You need your enforcer, you need your badass. And Team USA, we got the Marchand brothers. So let's go.
How different would this be if this happened 2 decades ago and Eisman was on the Canadian squad?
Get them. Love you, Steve. Love you,
That we
Steve,
can
but not
do.
today. I mean, like,
Absolutely no we can do.
yeah, I mean, listen, if Larkin was a part of the Canadian squad, we wouldn't
Gotta
be
hit him.
rooting for Larkin right now. Fortunately for us, he was born in Waterford.
No doubt.
So we get Larkin on our
West
team.
side.
So it was close.
It was pretty close. Pretty close. We talked about it being the most bet on game. Let's talk about Caesars Sportsbook, because if you want to get in on this game, Pete's going to tell you how.
You're going to have to scan that QR code above my head. Use the code word Woodward1000 right over there. Get your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account and do it before Thursday night's game coming up between USA and Canada. When you do scan that QR code above my head and use the code word Woodward1000 to open up your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account, deposit at least $20 and make a bet of $20 or more. If that first bet happens to lose, you'll get your first bet back as a bonus bet up to $1,000, but only if you scan that QR code above my head and use the code word Woodward1000 to get your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account. We'll be right back.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Detroit has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network.
Dreaming of a new home but feeling that financial pinch? Mark White and Associates are your trusted real estate experts. They're here to help you, all right? Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 on your closing costs. That's right. I said up to $5,000. Just call Mark White and Associates today, 248-290-8242, or visit them at markwhitesales.com. Again, that number, 248-290-8242. Make your dreams come true.
Welcome back to Ermanni Edwards with Maz right here on the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you to everybody watching on Twitch, watching on YouTube, watching on Twitter. Make sure or X. I don't know if it's going to be like Pine
Everybody
Knob.
still calls it Twitter.
Like Twitter's going to be Pine Knob
Right,
to me.
Pine
Like,
Knob.
I'm always going to call it Pine Knob.
Always.
Right.
Pine Knob.
Always.
See, but when people say Pine Knob to me, it messes me up because I'm like in my head, man, you just old. So I don't want that to be the same thing on
But
Twitter
now it's back
versus
to
X.
back to Pine Knob.
Yeah, no, that's true. So what? In 20 years, it's gonna be Twitter again?
Yeah, nature's
I
healed
hope
it.
so. I sure hope so.
Everybody still calls it Twitter, bro.
Yeah,
It's like Greektown Casino. Like Hollywood. No one calls it Hollywood. It's Greektown.
yeah. What is Hollywood anyway?
Right. It's Greektown Casino.
Greektown.
So you know how like Twitter is the platform, and then you call it a tweet. What do they call it now?
It's still a tweet on
An X
X,
post.
right?
An X
Every-
post.
An X post?
Everybody
X
still
post.
calls it Twitter. I'm not calling it.
Either way,
Either
thank
way.
you for watching, and make sure you like it and subscribe. We got into the
Who's
weeds
on
there.
first base?
NFL released their new salary cap. The Lions were ranked 8 yesterday. They
Yes,
had
they were ranked
55
8.
million.
55, yep.
So the NFL has informed teams today that the 2025 salary cap will be roughly $277.5 million to $281.5 million. That is an increase of 22 to 26 million from last year and beats what most executives were anticipating. So what does that mean? Bigger contracts. I don't think it means more players on the move. I just think it means the
right.
same players are going to get a bigger chunk of the
exactly.
cheese. But the Lions now went from 55. Let's add 22 to that. So now the
Exactly.
Lions are at 77 million this
That is
offseason.
correct. Here, there's the numbers for you.
So we can pay Chase Young.
But those are the old.
Those are the old numbers.
Those are the old
add,
numbers.
add 22 million to all the numbers that you see.
So add 22. So I mean, obviously, you're still in 8th. But you have $77 million. And yeah, the question yesterday, were you comfortable spending 20% of your remaining cap on Chase Young? That number is now no longer 20%. It becomes a little bit more palatable.
Joey, do that math real quick.
Joey's got an accounting degree from Oakland University.
I know, that's why I said it.
No, I quit on accounting. I
wasn't a
switched. I switched to marketing.
I remember Joey up on the.
Smart.
Remember you were up on a light pole. You were like one of their mascots. I remember that. Nah, that wasn't a joke. I was like serious.
That curly hair back in the day.
On a
Boys,
light pole.
all gone.
I had a whole different visual of you on a light pole. Then I realized he was talking about a picture on the flag up on the light pole.
Sorry, Mario.
Imagined him about 10 feet up on a light pole.
Right, like in Philly.
Like in Philly, right?
Yeah. So there you go. We can re-bring that question, the Chase Young question now. So let's say instead of 20%, you're spending you're down to about 15 or 12% of your cap on Chase Young. Now I'm interested.
Okay.
First you had my attention.
Okay.
Now you have my interest.
25 years old. The potential is there. The ceiling is there. He hasn't lived up to where he was drafted. If there's anybody that can get it out of him, it's Dan and Brad. Period.
That's a good
Bring
point.
him in.
Yeah, listen, and like I said yesterday, if Dan and Brad decide he is the guy, then I know he's the guy, right? Until this,
Truth.
It's just us debating whether he's a Lions culture fit, and if they vet him out, they do the interviews, they talk to his teammates showed up to his birthday party, all that good stuff, then he could be a Lion for, I think 12% of the cap for him this year would be a perfect fit. When you get to that 20, 25, 30, that's when I start getting a little scared.
The Chase Young, Myles Garrett debate is going to be so divisive over the next couple of months. You've got people in my camp that don't want to give up the draft assets that we've seen Dan and Brad use so well and build this team to where they are. But then you've got the guys like yourself, Braylon. They want to go all in to get this one future Hall of Fame impact player at our biggest weakness last year, and everyone feels that will propel this team to a Super Bowl championship. For me to go all in, I know we'd have him for about 2 years. I just still don't want to give up those draft picks. If we can pay a guy like Chase Young and get that much out of him, which I believe those guys would do, that's where I'm at. But I think that this is going to be a debate that's going to wage between Lions fans for months to come.
Well, if you get a Chase Young, you're looking at him to be your 2A, 2B guy, right? Aiden Hutchinson's your one star.
100.
And then you have a rotation of Za'Darius and Chase Young, and then maybe draw up some plays when you put all three on the field at the same time. Maybe drop one back to linebacker, however you want to work it. But it gives you some flexibility and it gives you depth, and it doesn't come now at 20 to 25% of your remaining salary cap. That's why I'm interested. The numbers now make sense to me with what they added. But now, does Chase Young want more than the $9 million he was $9 to $10 million he was predicted to get?
What about 12? Are you okay with 12?
12's, what's 77, 12?
Joey.
Yeah, Joey. I'm more
65 mil left.
I'm more comfortable with it.
Okay.
I'm really a lot more comfortable with it. And another guy that Amon-Ra St. Brown was talking to on his podcast, Darius Slay.
Interesting.
He's got 1 year left in his deal in Philly, but as he said in the podcast, you know how that works. They're either going to trade him for assets during the year or before the year, or they're going to try to re-sign him. And if he doesn't re-sign there, the Eagles' Darius Slay on a possible return to Detroit, quote, for sure, the two spots I would love and always be at is Philly or Detroit. He went on that podcast to say, like, he went to a lot of high school basketball games here, a lot of high school football games here.
We did a lot with him.
We did a lot with him. Sauce Gardner trained with him. He was talking about when Donovan Peoples-Jones was here. He was talking about Imani Bates because you were all over at Bates when he was selling out Eastern Michigan. He's like, dude, I haven't seen a kid like LeBron. Obviously, Bates hasn't turned out what he was supposed to be in that
I
light.
was just about to say, what happened with it?
I don't know.
It's a long story.
I mean, to be honest, he's actually doing real well in the G League. I just feel like they needed more time for him to develop. Because let's be honest, there was a lot of things about the kid. Like he had that LeBron hype going around him.
Right.
And it was kind of around COVID time to where it was the end of his high school career. So I feel like he was kind of had that time taken away from him.
Well, and
he's looking
he
good.
may have picked the wrong program to go to for a year. And that's what happened. Didn't he go to Kentucky and they benched him?
Memphis.
Memphis. I'm sorry.
The other blue.
The blue and white, right.
Yeah.
He went to Memphis and he didn't get the minutes. And when you're a young player, I will give this recommendation to any young athlete anywhere. Go where you play.
Yeah, right.
Go where you
Yeah, right.
play.
No doubt about that.
If it's a lesser school, but they're telling you you're going to be the starter, go there because you're going to get minutes and you're going to get better. And there's nothing wrong with going to an elite university and riding the bench. But if you really want to aspire to be somebody, be like Josh
reps.
Allen, right? Like Josh Allen went to Wyoming.
Yeah.
He was a 0-star recruit, but he didn't try to go to a place where he'd just sit the bench. He went and got playing experience, then he got drafted.
Put a lot of film out there. And there's a lot of film on Big Play Slay, and he was very upset and blindsided when he was moved out of town.
That's part of the Matt Patricia debacle.
Anytime that you can see somebody that wants to be in Detroit, a place that so many people are afraid of and have misconceptions about, he's been here. He loves it, as you guys just mentioned. So I'd be pretty excited to bring him back. He's still playing at a high level.
We got nobody with the $5 super chat. Remember, if you want to jump the line and get in with the super chat, we'll make sure we read it. Darius Slay gave his glove he was going to wear before a Lions game. It was awesome. Hope we can come back to Detroit. Hope he can come back to Detroit. I'm assuming that's what he meant by that.
See, that's what I like about a player like him is everybody has something to say about him. It's kind of like Drummond back in the day. He was always out and about, and fans could
We
at
were
least
talking about him yesterday.
Joey's got such a positive spin on it. Go ahead.
I mean, I ain't got nothing bad to
talked
say
about
about
you
him,
yesterday.
but it's just the fact of him being able to be out and actually ride with the city. You love that in a player.
I think that's why J-Mo, even through some of the things that went through, and they actually announced today that the NFL's not pursuing any more charges with him, but some of the stuff that happened to him over this last year, as a Detroiter, when you see him down at Nicky's and hanging out, like, it's hard to hate on a guy that loves this city the way that J-Mo does.
Yeah, and like his dad said, that's where he feels comfortable, right? That's J-Mo doesn't want to be in a penthouse by himself playing man. J-Mo wants to be surrounded by people he feels comfortable with, and hey, I don't blame him for it, and I don't hold it against him. Like, go where you're comfortable because you're going to perform better on the field if you're in an area where you feel like you're secure.
Yeah. There's a clip of him at the Livernois party store buying a homeless cat a bunch of food and stuff, whatever you want. That's my party store right by my Detroit house. And I was like, oh, Waymo in town. Let's go. In town. Right on.
No, that's awesome. You love to see people give back to the city. But that being said, do you guys want Darius Slay back in Detroit? Here's the one weird part about the conversation Amon-Ra was having with him. What type of message does that send? Like, hey, man, you need to come back to Detroit. What does that send to Terrion Arnold? What does that send to Carlton Davis? What does that send to Rakestraw?
Branch.
What does that send to not Branch, because he's not going to play Branch's position. But the cornerbacks you already have on the team.
I think there was so many injuries to the D-back core that you don't really – I don't think they're going to hold that against him. I mean, Carlton Davis, he's not on a contract.
Right.
Emmanuel's gone after being brought back with a broken life 2 years in a row. And, you know, we didn't even see Rakestraw. So I don't think, considering the condition health-wise of where our secondary was, I don't think that it's an issue.
Pete, can you drop that as a poll in the chat? Do you want Darius Slay back in Detroit?
You got it, buddy.
Might be more of an issue for Philly fans because if he's in town and he's playing for you and you just won a championship, you don't want to mention in any other cities he'd want to play in.
No, that's where he wants to go. It's interesting. We'll swap you Chauncey Gardner-Johnson for Darius Slay, send him back.
Yeah.
And it would be nice to have a redemption story like that. A player who was good here when the team was so bad comes back when the team is finally good enough for him to be a productive member. Like, I think that's a fun story to tell.
You hate that. When they leave us at our lowest, and then they become he was a star here, but then you go and then you see him win. It's kind of like Stafford leaves and wins.
Yeah. But Stafford asked to be traded.
Yeah, Stafford was
Slay wanted to be here by all reports. He didn't want to leave. But when, you know, your coach is disrespectful to you and, you know, what he say to him about lapping someone else's junk, well, you know, like he spoke to him like he wasn't a man. and Darius Slay didn't take that stuff, so he left. And him and Glover Quinn were probably the two biggest losses of the Patricia era, by far. And I wish we had those guys back.
Shout out Kirk Hammett from Metallica that just came in the studio for a minute.
What?
Yeah, Chase.
Chase.
I had no idea he had all that hair.
Yes.
Me either. I didn't know. That was the first time I ever seen it.
He looks like Kirk Hammett.
I have no idea who that is, but
Metallica.
He does.
Yeah, I didn't either. Metallica.
Wow, you don't know.
Metallica guitarist, baby.
I know two guys in Metallica. Lars Ulrich. James, right?
James Hetfield, Lars Ulrich, and then the bassist. I forgot the new bassist.
And don't forget their original lead guitar, Dave Mustaine.
He's like 10 years new.
Only a decade, Ricky. New for Metallica.
Metallica new.
Which, by the way, fun Metallica story. They performed on Belle Isle. I don't know if you remember the Orion Festival that was here for one whole year.
Yes, they did.
Getting on and off the island was impossible. But Metallica played Orion Festival. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Bass Nectar was there. Like it was a really cool festival in downtown Detroit. But one thing Metallica did, they put their name as a different name on the bill and played a smaller stage.
That's right.
And nobody knew that it was Metallica.
So they just shocked the people who
it
actually wrote that.
It was like
Totally,
dog
Ricky.
wings or something. They just put whatever at like 8 p.m. on this stage. And there were just a bunch of random people standing there waiting to see a band they never heard of.
Metallica
And all of a sudden Metallica walks out. And I feel some type of way about Lars and Metallica, about how crappy he is in the music industry, about how these guys hammer down on everybody with everything.
Yes,
they are lawsuit happy in Metallica. But I thought that was one of the cooler music moments I've ever experienced in my life, because you saw the whole damn festival stop what they're doing. The buzz got out, Metallica's over, and then just whoosh,
Rush to it,
all of a sudden this small stage had 20,000 people at it. It was so
crazy.
cool.
Yeah, that's great.
Such a cool thing.
Stage B. I remember that Stage B, dude.
Yeah, you were there?
I was there, Stage B, dude, because it was such a great festival. How could you not be there? We partied for like 36 hours.
Yeah, it was all weekend long. You were bussed in from Cobo Hall.
Yes.
And there was no parking on the island, but the busing system, they only had like 12 buses for like 100,000 people.
Wow.
It was a logistical nightmare, but at the end of the day, the memory I have is cool Metallica and Red Hot Chili Peppers performing Under the Bridge.
I went there. I had no idea to this day that Metallica was there.
You didn't know that?
No idea.
I went for Bass Nectar, bro.
Yeah, maybe that's probably true.
Planet Fitness,
Sir.
where your fitness is essential, right?
That's right.
We got Joey in here. Can we have Joey do the live read?
Well, let me
Fitness
hang
is
on.
essential.
It is.
Put it on.
Hang on, let me get
15
you a
Metro
camera, Joe.
Detroit
Hang on. There you go, Joe.
locations. Joey, tell us about Planet Fitness.
You can't beat $15 a month for a membership, right? And then you up it to the black card, all the amazing amenities that they offer. That's what I like about Planet Fitness too, because for me personally, it's about the judgment-free zone atmosphere that I love going there, because let's be honest, I'm not working out every day, so you go to these other gyms, you feel uncomfortable, but then you go there, it's just very welcoming. And that's what I love about it. $15 a month. It's a Planet Fitness near you.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you will. We got Tully, everybody. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
Lady Jane's has been taking the chore out of getting your haircut since 2004. Their talented stylists will deliver that industry-leading haircut along with a relaxing scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. Open 7 days a week. You can walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, as you know, it's wicked awesome.
Welcome back to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz right here on the Woodward Sports Network. Braylon Edwards will be back tomorrow. When does Maz get back, Pete?
Friday.
Maz is back
Maz
on
will be
Friday?
back Friday.
All right. And then Ryan...
Ryan will be back next week.
Next week?
Yes.
All right. Then you get the full show back, up and running.
That's
They're
correct.
stuck with me for the rest of the week.
Yeah, you're stuck with Anson. I will not be here tomorrow, but you'll have Braylon.
Yes.
We got to get you and Braylon together for the Michigan State basketball game.
please.
Is that Friday?
That it is Friday. We were. I know that he's going to be in the building at the Brez at the last game of the season.
Okay.
And we talked to Maz about doing that. I know he's got some connections up in East Lansing, so I would love that. Absolutely love that, because we were just in the back talking with all the guys and the team, and I think I'd love to say that Michigan State's going to take both those games, but I see a split. Both of those teams are playing so well. Both of those stadiums are such hostile environments in a rivalry game. I just would love to see these two teams in the Final Four, but getting Braylon to East Lansing, that's something I want for a few years now.
Yeah, why would Braylon do it?
He's already going. He said he's got tickets for that game. I was kind of shocked.
Yeah, because I've hung out with Braylon before, and like it'll just be some Michigan State fan just run up to him, yell "Go Green," and run away all giddy, and it's like, what do you think you just did, dude? Like,
I would chase after him if I was
no,
Braylon, just
but
for a little bit.
If you're Braylon, like why?
Nah, I get
why,
it, but every
though?
now and again, I would just act like just real quick. Can you imagine Braylon Edwards just flinching at you? Yeah, nah.
But
yeah,
can you
I would
imagine
have
your
to.
whole life, like you're dealing with these petty little fans that think they got something over on the number 3 NFL draft
Right.
pick by yelling "Go
If he-
Green"?
Who's
Champion.
undefeated against State?
Like who scored 4 touchdowns in overtime against it? Like that's the part of the annoying fan base, and I get it. Like it's a part of the rivalry. You gotta troll him.
Right.
But the amount of times we've been at opening day just hanging out, and some drunk dude, "Go Green,
dude.
Braylon," and it runs off. It's like,
bro, what are you doing?
What do you think? And then but he's gonna go tell his boys, "Yeah, I saw Braylon Edwards once.
Yeah.
You know what I said? I told him go green."
Oh yeah.
Like
The 2 years that I've spent
Good job,
doing
bro.
the tailgate with him for the Michigan State game, I've seen so much of that, and I've honestly been very impressed with Braylon's patience and everything. I mean, this is a guy that I hated, and I ended up seeing him out and about in Detroit one night, and I couldn't wait to meet him. I was excited that Braylon talked to me for 10 minutes. You know?
You still respect who he is.
For sure. And to be honest, as much as we never could beat the guy, you know, he's a Detroiter. He's just so cool about handling all of it. But honestly, there's times where Spartans, I'm embarrassed for him, some of the stuff that they say to him. It's like, at least be clever, man. Come on.
that's the thing. Like the go green thing, we can do better.
That's it.
But
Yeah,
really,
You nailed it. They run up there like, hey, Braylon, go green. And then they run.
they're like children. it's,
Is that like the
crazy.
Michigan fan with Ryan Day a couple weeks ago when he ran into it at the airport?
oh yeah, but at least that guy was funny,
Right.
right? Like, and got it on camera. Like, I don't mind the Ohio State trolling, I guess.
Yeah, right. see, there you go. We got there. I
was walking through it, Ricky. I was
like, come on, man.
I was justifying it to myself. There's a total difference, Pete.
Where do you align, Ricky?
What?
Where do you align on the
Michigan State?
Yeah.
I think Michigan State is one of the worst institutions that were ever made. And I lived in Lansing for 5 years. I lived in Lansing for 5 years.
We'll speak off the air.
Yeah. Everything bad that can happen to you happens at Michigan State. Let's just be real.
Done for the rest of the show.
That's all over, baby.
Anson,
It's the Ricky and Anson show.
Let's have this debate. I'll move to the sound booth.
Yeah. Hey, let's switch spots.
I'm just
Chad
being
is
honest.
loving Ricky right now.
Yeah,
Chad
I
is
just-
absolutely
But
loving Ricky
I didn't
right
go
now,
to
and I'm not
college,
even
so I have
looking.
no dog in the fight. I didn't go to college at all.
And that's what I tell people. I went to University of Detroit, right? Like, they don't have a football team, so I got
Right.
no dog in
But-
that fight. Our basketball team was good when I was there with Rashad Phillips, but outside of that, they really haven't made any. So I don't really have a dog in the fight either. I want both teams to win, but I do find myself like annoyed more by Michigan State fans.
Yeah.
I do.
Stick. Ricky could have just said Michigan.
I had to tell you the truth. We're doing a show, man. We're sports.
It's true. He
We
did
got
go,
a chat
Say
going.
Michigan.
he did go extra hard. Out of nowhere.
We're doing a show, bro. That's what we do.
Go green.
Go
Go
white.
green.
Tuck coming.
Oh, boy.
I never got behind the tuck coming. All right. It was
Oh,
ridiculous.
boy, did he.
Oh, God. Classic.
So Friday, the game. We'll probably have a watch party for that. Man, I wanted to spend this segment on FanDuel, but we got off on the Michigan State thing. If you didn't hear, FanDuel will now be available on Amazon Prime for an additional $20. I'm really getting sick of paying for streaming stuff.
Well-
Really getting sick of this.
You guys know I'm an internet pirate. I won't be paying, but it is pretty cool, Streamies. It is
Especially
pretty
while it's
cool.
on the internet.
It is very cool that you don't have to go to 17 different sources to find this team and then that team. Oh, but this team's playing a different game on that different, so put it in one spot. Have people pay $20 a month.
Yo,
Listen, depending on the sports you're going to pay, I'm sure they'll do real well during winter.
It's just I get it, but they used to have cable, right?
It's cable.
It was all there for us. And then they broke it up, and now they're trying to sell it back to us in bits and pieces.
That's
like,
correct.
I get that works in real estate. Like, I'm going to buy a whole building and piece it off as apartments and make more money. But that's what they're doing with the... And,
no doubt.
You know, I think it was Bill Maher who had a great, like, diatribe about it. Like, I used to be able to press back and switch games. Now I got to get out. I got to switch servers. I got to wait for the buffering. Like, the whole viewing experience... This is me on my old man stuff. Like, I just miss cable where I can turn it on and pay for all the channels.
Yeah.
Like, all this. And every movie I want to watch is unavailable. I got to rent it for $2.99 or pay $10 to watch it. Like, I'm just sick of it. I honestly am. Especially last year after what went on. They just stopped showing Pistons games, stopped showing Red Wings games.
Oh, man.
I think we're glancing over something very important. We have shifted into an era where our sports games are being televised by the very service you're using to bet on them. Of course, we're also using Caesars, but the fact that they have redesigned themselves as an entertainment leagues and not sporting leagues anymore. You've already got all these question marks. You know, the Chiefs are a great one. We talk about all of the possible manipulation of games by the refs and the league even. We are literally going to the source that we're betting from. I mean, imagine if you had to call your bookie to watch a game.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
That's correct.
So it's a slippery slope, man.
And ESPN Bets is doing the exact same thing too. I mean, they're already on cable with their network, and now they're also doing exactly what they're like double dipping. Actually, they're triple dipping in that point. So it's a good point, Anson.
So you think that it's way too close to the gambling sites?
It's been for too many years, and now it's getting even closer.
But do you prefer that they're out in the open with it? I mean, to me, it's like, all right, you know, it is what it is. They're showing their cards. We know they're affiliated with gambling sites now. It's not some backdoor crazy thing that we're not hearing about till scandals happen. I don't know.
Till the scandals happen.
Well, they do. I mean,
for sure.
But they were happening before this. See Rasheed Wallace and Tim Donaghy.
Right.
Like, that's one of the most eye-popping things that nobody ever talks about to me.
Scapegoat.
Rasheed Wallace gets suspended for what? Well, he didn't assault. He confronted an official after a game. Okay, years go by. Well, you find out that official was on the take. So did Rasheed Wallace deserve a suspension for calling a guy out for doing exactly what he did?
Right.
No, but the Tim Donaghy scandal, it just kind of went away for the NBA. Like, that should have discredited a lot.
Lee Harvey Donaghy.
Yep. Is that what you call
He
him?
was a scapegoat.
You think he was a scapegoat?
100%.
Yeah, I'm with that.
I mean, I know he wasn't a lone wolf, but he got caught.
Yeah, and then they made a Netflix documentary on him, and we've seen those before. We've seen those come out a little early before. I 100% believe that there was way more to that story. There was more people involved, from the zebras to the execs.
Yep.
I mean, he talks
Donaghy.
about some of the refs and how they were talking about stuff, but he just never says like names or something like that and how involved they were.
I mean, listen, if I look at the 2004 finals, and excluding the Red Wings, who were everybody's darling in the 90s, that was the only time that I've ever seen a Detroit team get the whistle, or at least a fair shake whistle. And you go into that game or that series, and all you have to do is say, hey, let them play.
Right.
And who's going to win? Pistons. Blow the whistle, Lakers are going to win. Put them at the line, put Kobe and Shaq at the line all game long, all 7 games, they're going to win that series. They let us play.
Right.
And that's all that it takes. I'm not saying that Silver's on the phone with the rep being like, hey, make sure that Wemby fouls out this game.
Yeah.
But you can absolutely determine the type of style that a game or a series is going to follow.
That's correct.
And I hate to say that about the team that I love so much, but I mean, you remember they let those going to work Pistons play.
Oh yeah, I mean, but that was before the rule change too. You were allowed to hand check back then.
Sure.
Then they changed the rule after the Pistons won. Great comment here by Chuck Brewer in the chat. Stick, the Black Sox scandal is talked about and affects the game to this day. This vanished overnight. And that's what's crazy about me. Like, it was literally proven that NBA refs were changing the outcomes of games. And we're talking about Western Conference Finals games and stuff like that. And it's just like, oh, yeah, okay. But speaking of, Rasheed Wallace today, 21-year anniversary of trading for Sheed. So,
that Derek Thomas jersey on.
Yeah, he walked in. God, love that team. Let's talk a little bit about that after the break.
Great
but first, let me
trade.
tell you about Dr. Pierce.
That would be me, young man. There you go. Scan that QR code. Attention sports fans above my head. And don't miss out on our expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sport and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday during Big D Energy and Thursdays, which will be tomorrow during Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, where he offers top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy that DMAC trusts. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to help keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportandSpine.com or call 248-426-9944. We'll be right back.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
Let's give it up for David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app online or in club and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Get some new merch, man. Are you tired of wearing the same old Detroit sports merch? I know you are. It's a new era in sports wearables. New designs, amazing apparel, and the ultimate swag. Check out all the new sports merch, tees, hoodies, hats. Shop.woodwardsports.com. The new seasons are starting. The Lions is a couple months away, so you can just get stuff now before they even get going, man. Shop.woodwardsports.com. Get your merch today.
On this day, 21 years ago, Rasheed Wallace
Ball don't lie.
got traded for. He went to Atlanta. I think he played like one game in Atlanta, dropped a 30-piece, and then came here. I think he was one of the only players to score 30 points for 3 teams in a year.
Yep.
That was a fun fact about that year with
crazy.
Rasheed Wallace.
Huh.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
yeah, it was a good fun fact. Fun fact about Rasheed Wallace. But it made me think, is that the best trade in Detroit sports history? I mean, Chauncey Billups was a free agent signing. That's true. Right? The trade with Stackhouse to get Ben Wallace, Chucky Atkins, or that was the Grant Hill trade, sorry. Stackhouse was to get Rip. Those were good trades. But Rasheed Wallace is the piece that puts you over the top.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to Maglio, I think, is a good signing. I'm not sure if they traded for Maglio, but Maglio was a big piece that the Tigers added early in that run. Getting Pudge as a free agent I thought was massive too. But Rasheed Wallace, man, brought the team a championship.
Man.
Gave them even more of an identity, embraced the bad boys. You know,
Right.
Larry Brown has a clip about him. Like, he fit in that locker room the very first minute he walked in.
I got one.
Adrian Dantley?
No.
Mark Aguirre trade?
Well, the Mark Aguirre, see, to me, I think we would have won it with AD or Mark Aguirre. I don't think that team was being beat. But I always heard from my dad and all my older baseball friends, the Dave Bergman and Willie Hernandez trade that they did in '84 to help them get over the top. Again, I was a babe at that point, barely. And so I can't really speak on that, but I know that one was a very big deal in pushing that '84 Tigers team to the World Series championship. But you know what mine is, and it's cheap. Don't lie.
Miguel Cabrera trade. Patrick Lineberry put that in the chat. Miguel Cabrera. It's just they didn't get the championship, right? Miguel Cabrera took us to 2 World Series, a Triple Crown winner, probably the best individual player I've ever seen play baseball, period, end of story. Like, I loved watching Miguel Cabrera play baseball.
I remember that
What
trade.
about Jared Goff for Stafford?
No, I was going to go there, but I didn't want to be called a slappy. But if Jared Goff wins the Super Bowl here in Detroit, that could be the best trade of all time.
It's not just him, though. Look at all the other guys we got out of that deal, man.
Well, you got the picks, which turned into the guys.
Yeah.
But Jared Goff is the guy in that deal that you got.
Of course.
I got a good one for you guys,
Who you
man.
got?
Are you ready? Brendan Shanahan.
1997
to help put them over the edge. The trade with the Hartford Whalers,
That's a
sending
good
them
one.
Keith Primo, a first-round pick, and Paul Coffey to get Brendan Shanahan. That was a sweet freaking trade and put us over the edge.
Some of the deals that you're talking about, you're bringing in your foundation with those deals. But I think the ones that were super, super impactful is that one deal where you make that year that puts you over the
That was
top for a
Shanahan.
championship that year. That's the Bergman-Willie trade. That's the Shanny trade. And with Coffey as well. And that's the Rasheed Wallace trade. And then remember, we traded Lindsey Hunter in that deal.
And got him back.
And got him back.
Got him back.
The Bulldogs, baby. Him and Mike
Pitbulls.
James.
Was it the Pitbulls?
One of Pitbulls or Bulldogs. They were dogs. And they ran that press so great, man. They were so fun.
So I'm looking up at an article. MLive's got this. Shout out to our former worker, Corey Woods, who works at MLive now. He didn't write this article, but it just made me think of him. So shout out Corey Woods. Number 10, Rasheed Wallace for the Detroit Pistons. Number 9, Larry Murphy to the Detroit Red Wings in 1997. Number 8, Mark Aguirre for the Detroit Pistons. Number 7, Miguel Cabrera. Wow, if Cabrera's that low on this list. Number 6, Chris Chelios in 1999. Detroit traded for the 37-year-old Chelios, sending Anders Eriksson and 2 first-round picks for a 37-year-old.
Only in hockey and golf or something like that.
Wow.
They were tired of playing against him, I guess.
Number 5, Ben Wallace. Grant Hill was going to sign with the Orlando Magic, so the Pistons worked out a sign-and-trade deal
Thank
that
goodness.
netted them Wallace and Chucky.
My boy Chuck.
Chucky Atkins was a
baby.
fantastic addition. There you go, Willie Hernandez at number 4.
Oh,
Number
Guillermo.
3, Bobby Lane.
The night train.
Yeah,
man.
Detroit acquired
curse
Bobby
of
Lane
Bobby
from the
Lane?
New York
1950.
Bulldogs. Maz was there.
Curse.
1950, right? 1949, 50.
Ooh, this is a good one. Number 2, Bill Lambier. He was with the
man.
Cavs. Remember when he
Wine
was with
and
the Cavs?
champagne.
Taking it
He
back.
came over with Chuck.
And number 1, to your credit, Pete.
Really?
Shanahan, you're the man.
I didn't even know that, dude.
Yep,
Seriously.
2 games into the 96-97 season, Shanahan was traded to Detroit with Brian Glynn by Hartford for Keith Primo and
Primo.
defenseman Paul Coffey and a first-round pick. Shanahan had 87 points in his first season with the Red Wings, and they got the first Stanley Cup since 1955.
One of my
So,
favorite trades ever.
Yeah, I mean, the proof's in the results, right? If you're a results-oriented person,
But you
the
got to
goal's
remember the time. Do you know how high people were on Keith Primo at the time? I mean, that was a hell of a deal. And then to send Paul Coffey with his Edmonton championships as well. They that was a sweet trade.
I can't believe Dennis Rodman for Sean Elliott didn't make it.
oh,
Chauncey Billups for Allen Iverson.
Oh, my God.
Do we want to go down the list of
there we go.
worst
We
trades?
discussed that yesterday.
Yeah, we could have brought that up last time.
Same list, isn't it?
Uh,
Damn near the same list as yesterday.
I
That's
love
right.
Miggy, but once he got paid $300 million, he didn't do anything for 5 years. Justin Galina's dropping
we
that.
talked yesterday. He's in the best shape of his life right now.
Yeah, no, all reports out of spring training. Miguel Cabrera, best shape of his life.
That's so funny.
And yeah, he got fat and happy, but you paid him for what he did, not
Right.
what he was going
Triple
to
crown,
do.
baby. First in 67.
At one
Carl
point,
Yastrzemski.
I went to Comerica Park. I looked down on the field. You have Scherzer, your current
Mm-hmm.
Cy Young winner. You had Verlander, you're the previous Cy Young winner, and you had a Triple Crown winner, Miguel Cabrera, warming up at the same time.
Wow.
It was like you looked down on the field, and it was just one of those moments you're like, I'm watching history.
How close
It's
was
not often you have the perspective in the moment to
Yeah.
know that you're watching history. But when you saw that greatness assembled on the field, just warming up, playing catch, it's like, man, this is a special thing. It's
It
a
is a
very
special
special
Did
thing.
Scuba win the Triple Crown last year?
Yes,
No.
he did. No, he won the Cy Young, right?
Cy Young.
Yeah.
But he did. He was super close to winning the Triple
I
Crown.
thought he did
as
get
a
the
pitcher.
Triple
Pitching, is it called the Triple Crown?
The
in
pitching Triple
Yeah.
Crown, yes.
No, okay.
Yeah, strikeouts, wins, and ERA.
Yeah, but Miguel Cabrera, those are great trades, man.
Dontrell Willis came over with him in that trade, if I'm correct. I remember that trade because it was the first time I ever did jury duty. And it was in Detroit, and thank God I had the paper there because they take your phone, they take everything, and I was able to read up on the trade, and it was like a 4-page article in the Free Press, so it was a beautiful day.
It's Dontrell Willis, man.
Yep. With that high leg kick.
When they traded for him, I was like, oh man, Detroit's Satchel Paige is here.
Yeah.
like for real. The way he left-handed leg kick, dude could hit when he was with the Marlins.
Yep. Yes.
Like I had very high hopes for him coming here, and honestly, like just for the culture of Detroit, like a black starting pitcher that was the guy, that would have driven this city insane.
No doubt.
With attendance and stuff like that. But the dude just never panned out. I was a big Dontrell Willis believer and fan. I even had a turtle named Dontrell.
Oh,
That's
sweet.
And didn't they?
You had a turtle named Dontrell.
because of I had Cabrera and
Is your turtle's
Dontrell.
name Dontrell?
No,
Dontrell.
now it's Midori. Now we have
okay.
Midori. But
Okay.
yeah.
Dontrell.
But no, I named my turtle after Dontrell Willis
That's
because
what's
I
up.
loved him so much. Like I love guys that like he was a mild Ohtani, right?
Yeah.
Like
There you go.
1/10 of what Ohtani
Right.
is. The guy was hitting. Like go back and watch him hit for watch him run the bases.
Yeah, he was
like,
fast.
He was just a fun athlete to watch and never panned out.
Didn't he win a championship with Leland in Florida or Miami or with the?
Well, he
the
came
Marlins?
over from the Marlins. That was the trade. Yeah, with him and I believe him and Cabrera got one when Wayne Huizinga disbanded the team after
Yep.
that title.
What
2003.
a strange
2000
thing that was.
Yep.
Having that team, an expansion baseball team,
Yes.
win a World Series, and you're like, let's blow it up.
And then, I was gonna say,
Let's
and then
get Cameron
completely
Maybin.
disbanded. Completely.
Let's get Cameron Maybin for two of our best players on both sides of the ball. Thank you.
I mean,
Thank
Cameron
you.
Maybin was a hot prospect. Like he
was.
really was. He was
was.
supposed to be that. And I think didn't we also send him that big lefty? The
Oh,
kid out of
yeah,
North
no, the
Carolina.
pitcher. The
Yeah,
pitcher.
The kid out of North Carolina. He ended up pitching for the Yankees.
Yep.
He got moved to the Ryan. God, what was his name? But either way, he got sent to the Yankees and he got moved to the bullpen.
Right.
He was a starter for us, but I loved him coming out of college too.
Right, he was
I
huge.
watched him in the College World Series that we talked about yesterday when he pitched for North Carolina. God, what was that kid's name?
I'm trying to get it here. Miller.
Yeah,
Andrew Miller.
Andrew Miller.
Yeah,
Yep.
he ended up going on and being a great reliever.
But he was
Yep.
not the starter that they drafted him to be.
No,
But yeah,
was
he
a
had
horse
quite a
when
journey.
he first came up, man.
He had quite a journey in Major League, man.
He won some rings.
Did he win a ring?
Pretty sure he won one with
the Yankees? Did he?
Yeah, he did with the Yankees,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yes. Relieving. Yeah.
I know
Yeah, Andrew
baseball.
Miller. Kevin Donaldson knew what we were talking about. Thank you. And thank you, Jericho. Everybody's like roasting. Randall Smalls, Andrew Miller. Yeah, that was the guy. I thought he was. It's so crazy how you pinpoint some of these guys and you see the talent and they just don't pan out.
Yeah. Especially in
Imani Bates,
baseball,
we was
man.
talking about it.
Yeah, Monty Bates is another one.
You said the name. I'm like, yo, he was the biggest thing around like 2 years ago.
Sports Illustrated cover.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's fast.
Well, tell us about Les Stanford, Anson.
Hey.
Listen, it's time to get yourself in a new car, and there is no better time than the Les Stanford sign and drive sale going on right now. Zero security deposit, zero do-it signing, zero first payment, zero acquisition fee, and that will get you into one of these three awesome automobiles. The 2024 Envision for only $239 a month, the 2025 Sierra Crew Cab Elevation for only $249. Or you want a Hummer in your life? 2025 Hummer EV for only $789 per month. Get to Les Stanford today and check out their massive inventory at the sign and drive sale. Les Stanford Buick and GMC, lesstanford.com.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza. You're driving down the road, you see that Soroki sign, stop in, get some of that crispy chicken and that delicious pizza. Their signature wings are out right now. And you know what? You got a big game coming up. There's nothing more American than sitting in front of a TV smashing wangs. And that's what you can do tomorrow night. Watch Team USA smash Canada as you eat those lemon pepper wings from Soroki's. They're a real fan favorite, Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza.
And please make sure you get the biscuits.
Oh, the biscuits with the honey butter.
Biscuits.
America. Now I'm hungry. Yeah,
Me too.
the Canadians can't conceptualize biscuits with honey butter.
Right.
Have you ever seen the UK kids eat biscuits with gravy?
Yeah.
And they go nuts?
Yeah.
I've seen the ribs one. I saw
Love me
one that
some
ate
biscuits
ribs.
and
That was
gravy.
hilarious.
Because those were English kids, too, and English food
They're like,
could
this
be...
isn't a biscuit.
Oh, dude. Have you ever been to England?
I have.
Some of
Yes.
the worst food you're ever going to
No
have. Worst
doubt.
food. Like they
Almost as bad as Germany.
boil fish.
Trevor Noah, I saw him
Almost
in
as bad as
Chicago. He had a
Germany.
joke about that. He says the food over there was so bad they got on a ship and just sailed. They had no idea where they were going.
Just get out of here.
He said some British man was like, I can't take it anymore. Just got on the ship and just went.
What was the line from Snatch? Fish, chips, cup of tea, worse weather, bad food.
It's like, I heard there's spices out there in the world somewhere.
Right? Let's go.
I heard there's spices.
Right? That's such a funny joke. I'm like, yo, that's real.
Horrible food.
We gotta improve our food.
Oh, horrible food. But fun to party there. I went to Europe when I was 17, and we went to like 5 different countries, and going in the bars when you're 17 there, they don't give a damn. You just go in and drink and have a good time.
My high school graduation gift from my father, God bless him, at 19 years old, he took me over to Germany.
Okay.
We were drunk in first hour we were there. We were at the Hofbrauhaus. and
Hofbrauhaus, baby.
We were
Yeah.
drunk in literally 1 hour,
Did you
and
go
it was
for
the best
Oktoberfest?
vacation of my life. God bless you, Dad, up in Hot.
Did you go for Oktoberfest?
No, we went in May, and we toured Munich, we toured Berlin, and we did like 7 days, and again 1994, and it was absolutely wonderful. 1 year after I graduated, and I have like a stack of pictures. Remember the pictures
Yeah,
back? I have a stack of photos.
Pete,
baby.
we almost lived the same experience 5 years apart. Like, because I graduated in 99, and my sister was given a choice. You could have a graduation party and a laptop, or you can have a trip to Europe. She chose the graduation party and laptop. During the graduation party, we had tornado warnings. Nobody came. My parents spent all this money on food, rented the tent, rented
Did
the
she
chairs.
get some cards and money at least?
Couple cards, but not the people that came. You know, the party was canceled. So, but she did get her laptop, which a laptop in the 90s was already eclipsed by the technology by the next week. So she got an out-of-date laptop. I took the trip to Europe, and
Smart.
look, we're here talking about it today.
So
And you still have a
Germany,
laptop.
Britain, and where else?
We went to Austria, Germany, Britain,
nice.
God, where was it? Liechtenstein.
Liechtenstein, yeah.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah, it was a fun little trip.
That's
Fun little
sweet.
trip.
I'm an Eastern Bloc guy myself.
Yeah, I like Europe. Wouldn't live there because they're not America, but I like Europe.
Well, the guy to your left lived in Russia for a little while there.
And Budapest for a half
And
hour.
Budapest.
I spent a summer in Russia.
I know this story. I know this story.
Summer in Russia, 3 months.
Russia's wild, man.
It's a good time.
Never been.
Russia in 97 was wild.
Never been.
I think I was there in 94, 95 when they were switching over from communism to democracy, and they were like bombing
Oh,
buildings
it
in
was wild.
Moscow and stuff. Crazy times. Like a political revolution like that was insane to witness in person because you had all the young Russians that wanted the democracy, and then you had all the old school Russians that wanted it the same way, and they were clashing in the streets.
No sunshine.
Right.
was
In
wild.
Russia, bread eats you.
I got to go to Belgrade the weekend that Milosevic fell in 2000. That was absolutely wild.
Man,
we
we're
wasn't
in
sure
city
if it was
slice.
going to be unsafe and riots or the biggest party Yugoslavia had ever seen, and it was the latter, fortunately.
Well,
Yugoslavia.
this kind of leads into the conversation talking about our international travels. The NFL, the international games are set, Pete.
That's correct.
And here is a look at them. According to Adam Schefter, NFL's 2025 international games set up. The Chargers, week 1 in Brazil. Who are the Chargers playing?
But again, matchups are not set.
Okay.
But the locations and the teams that will host are set.
Got you. So the Jets and the Browns are
the only
each
one that's
in
set.
London on separate occasions. The Jaguars, who pretty much live in Europe,
Yes,
they
they
should
do.
just move over there. The Colts in Berlin, Dolphins in Madrid, and the Steelers in Dublin.
That sounds
Yeah,
That's
awesome.
interesting.
God, that would be a fun game. We play the Steelers this year, don't we?
Yes, we do.
But we're
So
not on the
possi-
international schedule, right?
I don't know about that because the matchups have not been settled yet. So
Will we want to?
keep.
If the Lions are playing in Ireland, I'm going.
You're
That's
going.
like two of my
you're
favorite
going?
things
We
in
all
the
got
world.
Same. I'm there
What
with
with
you, bro.
sports? You
all
got to do
gotta
the
go.
shows live from there.
I'll be drunk as hell, but yeah, let's do it.
That's going to be one of the craziest shows,
It would-
Ricky.
yeah, right. It would be your first half drunk in front of a microphone.
You get in a little scuffle with the, because over there, like bar fights are just a part of the
Well, that's
culture.
part of the deal.
It's not a big
It's like
deal.
hockey?
Yeah,
Part of the
boys will be
deal.
boys. You punch it out and then you have a beer after.
Bare knuckle
I'm not mad
boxing.
at that.
Oh man,
This past summer, Rod Wood, Lions president, mentioned that the Lions are overdue and will probably see one as early as next season.
God, I hope that if they get the Dublin game, I'm going.
Well, they
I
also
don't-
play
I
the
don't care what
Rams, and
happens.
the Rams are playing in Australia.
Now, see, that was the question I wanted. That wasn't up there?
It was not up there, but no, it had the Rams at hosting, but it didn't say who they were playing.
No, but it did say Australia because I missed that.
Oh, yeah, hang
Maybe
on.
I said
Melbourne.
Austria.
Or that
something.
might be. Let me
So
double check. on that.
Australia.
You're right.
or
No, that's
Dublin?
next year. Next year.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right.
Here's the list again. So that was my bad on that. But I do know that the Rams are playing in Australia. I think that's 2026.
Okay.
So you get 3 games in London, 1 game in Berlin, 1 in Madrid, 1 in Dublin, and 1 in Brazil.
And Madrid's the new one. Dublin's the new one.
And
Yes.
Brazil's hard to pass up.
Yeah, I'd like to go to Brazil, but I would definitely love to go to Ireland. Like that's a goat trip for me. I want to go to the motherland.
They're obviously
I
going
want to feel my roots.
They're going to play.
my
They're going
roots.
to play the Madrid game, obviously, in the soccer stadium. But wouldn't that be cool if they actually did it in the bullfighting stadium? I mean, with how it fans are like overhanging. It'd be like the Greek Coliseum, baby. Back in the day. I wish they would do it in the bull.
Nitty gritty in the chat. The Steelers are a home Lions game, so
Are they? Okay.
obviously that is not one of ours. Damn it! Damn it! And nitty gritty, I got your email. I'll respond to it today. Sorry, I've been busy the past 24 hours. But yeah, I've never been to Ireland. Here it's amazing. The international games are cool. I love the 9 a.m. football. That's really the only reason I like it. It's cool to share. It's much better than what Major League Baseball does when they start the season and then have a week off.
Which the Tigers are doing this year.
Are the Tigers starting the season in Japan?
Well,
Doing that crap?
they play the Dodgers to start the season. I think that's overseas.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I like the international stuff. I just hate when the Lions are over there a lot. It seemed like we kept sending our crappy products over to London. Now it seems like they're getting some better games here and there. And they're always fun. They play the "Take Me Home" by John Denver. All the foreigners sing.
They love that.
Yeah, it's a fun experience for them. It's American football.
I'm trying to find it here, but do you recall any overseas games that the Lions have played?
Oh yeah, yeah. They played the Atlanta Falcons in Europe.
Oh yeah, I do remember
that.
That
Was
I remember that.
That was a last-second field goal. They won that game.
That's right.
They played two London games.
Two London
and
games.
I think they got their
I
ass
remember the
kicked
second one.
in the other one.
Okay.
2 London games, though, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but I remember the Atlanta Falcons one vividly because they won that game on a last-second field goal. So yeah, they played a couple games over there.
Seeing our Detroit Lions in another country would be special.
Yeah, I can
Really
only
cool.
imagine that.
Yeah, 2014.
I'm really curious just to say, like you mentioned it, you kind of talked about how into these games they are now 10, 15 years later of the NFL having them over there. I got a chance to go to some basketball games when I was living in Hungary, and it's unbelievable the intensity. And I would just really love to see what it's like going to a foreign country and see how they embrace our game.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely embrace the game. They're not really embracing a team.
Yeah.
And that's what's kind of cool about
Except
it.
for the
You
Jags.
go there, you see all the jerseys from around the world. You
Yeah.
know, you'll see a Tom Brady jersey, you'll see a Peyton Manning
Like
jersey.
the draft here this past year.
Oh God, I wish we could have the draft here again.
Every year.
Every year.
Did you go downtown for that, Ricky?
Nah, I was working. I was DJing Sportsbook for pretty much the whole time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a cool
Our
experience.
city
that
at its
was.
best, man. It was
No,
unbelievable.
it was great. It
time.
looked great on TV. I watched a lot of it. It
All
looked
the
great.
streets just blocked off, being able to walk anywhere, right in the middle of Woodward,
Yeah.
all over the place. And there was not a block of grass that didn't have a tent or a band or a DJ or something going on. It was awesome.
Yep, great times in downtown Detroit. Draft is coming up. Mock draft season is
Yes,
here.
sir. Let's go.
A couple mock drafts have dropped. You wanted to discuss those coming up next? We got more NFL talk, but you got anything you want to talk about before we go to break?
Yeah, no. Why don't you do something? Doing that.
Okay. We'll be right back talking more NFL right here on the Woodward Sports Network. Go to break.
Gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you will. We got Tully, everybody. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
Any Lady Jane's haircuts for men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Head to woodwardsports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. Woodwardsports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at woodwardsports.com.
Welcome back to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz right here on the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you to everybody checking us out on X, checking us out on YouTube, and, of course, Twitch. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, telling your friends, tell your grandma, tell your pets. We'll take all your burners. Subscribe to us on all your burners. We need it all, baby. It's coming to work. Anson Wells, my name is Stick. We got Ricky Burns in here. We have Pete Spivak over there doing his thing. And this just dropped on Twitter from Mike Sullivan. Shout out to Sully and Bogey. Talk to them about being
I went to
part of
Specs
Woodward's.
with Bogey.
Did you?
Yeah.
Early on in
Bogan
Woodward's
shoots.
Yeah, strong candidate to host the 2028 NBA All-Star Game. The 2024 event in Indy generated over $400 million, including $112 million earned in media value. Proof that the global event like this fuels business, tourism, and brand exposure. Mike Sullivan, shout out to you. Good guy here in Detroit, but we were just talking about how awesome the NFL draft was here.
Absolutely.
How awesome it was to block off the street of Woodward and walk down. You have all the games playing. You could look at all the helmets. You could buy your gear. Just a really cool, fun atmosphere for everybody. As much as we've bitched about what the All-Star Game is over the past 24 to 48 hours, because the All-Star Game does suck.
Yeah. But everything around
It'd be good to have, you're right.
Everything
It'd be
around
good to have it, right?
everything around it.
It's the parties. It's the, getting all the celebrities here. It's the sponsors. It's all that good stuff. I know, Anson, you would love the All-Star Game here in Detroit, even though I think we all agree the All-Star Games suck, which is weird. We want a horrible thing to come to Detroit, but it'll also make $400 million.
We had the draft back when we selected Lindsey Hunter and Ellen Houston. I got a chance to go to that. It was 93, I believe. Last time it was in Detroit was 1979. I have wanted an All-Star game here my entire existence. And it just never felt like it was going to happen. The fact that it never happened in the Palace was mind-blowing because that was the state-of-the-art stadium when it was built. This would be awesome. And I'll be honest, man, the Pistons are going to be awesome, I think, at that point because we've got our core. They'll all be extended, and they'll all be playing for a team that should be in contention for the East for 2 or 3 years at that point. I'm all for it.
One thing I'm worried about is weather, right?
Yeah, sure.
Look at outside right now. Would you want to go downtown and walk blocks anywhere?
Yeah, that's true.
I ain't trying to do that in -9-degree weather.
Right. And Q-Line may be running.
Right.
Maybe running.
Maybe running.
That's the only negative drawback I could see about doing any big event around this time in Metro Detroit. I mean, a blizzard comes.
Yeah, well, they did it in Indy. So, I mean, Indy can't be that much warmer than here. So
I guess you're right.
We had the Super Bowl in early February.
We did.
And the city was in shambles at that point compared to where it is now.
The Super Bowl.
Smoke and mirrors.
The Super Bowl was so fake. It was awesome.
Oh, man. Bro, every time I drive under the 94 bridge on Telegraph, I think about it.
Oh, because that stupid football designed bridge that they put up.
Right? So
it's to welcome people off the airport driving downtown.
Like they're paying attention.
Right. Shout out, though, to a friend of the show, a friend of the Ermanni Network show, and friend of Woodward Sports, Marty Dobek of the Detroit Sports Commission. He's the executive director there, guys, because he told us a couple months ago here, because, again, he's a friend of the show, he's been on the show, that Detroit was expecting to have a few more events coming up, and now we see the fruits of his labor are paying off.
Well, yeah. I mean, when you drop 750,000 people on a draft, you put every person on notice that this is the place to do an event, that Detroit's going to feed the event. We're going to make it better. We're going to make it a spectacle. And hats off to the Detroit Sports Commission for getting all of these big events here, because it's one of those things. All you need is one, right?
That's all you need is
proved
one.
the concept once, and now everybody wants to come and be a part of it.
Yeah, because, I mean, realistically, the majority of our sport following lives, what did we have here? We had the NBA draft once. We had the Super Bowl once. Did we have an All-Star game at Copa America?
Yes. Yes, we
did have the one.
2005.
But, I mean, when you look at some of these cities that just get the stuff over and over and over again, it's like, when is our time? And the city had to catch up with the 4 sports leagues, and we finally have.
And it's nice. It's really nice.
Really is. It's
But that's part of it. Like, the Detroit Sports Commission needs to come together, and when they propose this stuff, it's like, look, we have XYZ many hotel rooms. We have XYZ restaurants. We have the ability to put this on seamlessly. And with the way Detroit's set up with the spoked wheel and stuff like that, it's just really a great city for them. And I'm just glad the Sports Commission has something to work with now when they're coming to the table with these negotiations. It's not just, hey, come to Detroit. We've knocked down all the crack houses.
Yeah, we put some glass up.
Yeah,
right. Some glass up in the building.
Hey, we have a new arena downtown. Come on. Now there's, and even though the district isn't what we all hoped the district would be, it's still nicer than it was.
Yeah,
right?
the restaurants are safe to eat in now.
We've built our leverage, and then our fan base has pushed it even more, because it's one thing to have a city that's nice, but it's still Detroit.
Right.
And what I heard from every one of the other 32 fan bases in the NFL was how much they loved our city.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's always been the little dirty secret about Detroit, though, right? Like,
Yep.
everybody stayed away because it's mystical Detroit, murder capital of the world. You don't want to go there.
Yeah.
But everybody all of my
Actually
friends
comes.
who came
Right.
and had like an experience here, they're like, man, this city's awesome. Like I was talking about when we were last time I went to Europe, right? This was 2018. I went to Rome, and there was a dude at a checkout counter that had a little tip jar that said "Trying to get to Technofest in Detroit."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's like the guy's like, yeah, I went once, and Detroit's amazing. Obviously, he had a weird accent. I'm not going to try to emulate it, but like that's what he said to me. And Zago, I was with Zago. Shout out to the carpet guys. He dropped $200 in his tip jar. He's like, hope to
That's
see you at
fantastic.
movies,
Right.
man.
That's
Sweet.
VIP
If that said
tickets right
anything
there.
else, you were getting $1.
No, yeah, no, we were gonna like he hit his target demo when we walked in,
Yeah,
right?
And I love having people come into the city for the first time and getting to show them the city I love
Yep.
so much. Honestly, like Tech Fest, I always said was Detroit at its best. Movement, whatever you want to call it. But the only time I've ever seen that trumped was at the draft this past year.
Yeah.
That's a great quote by Xavier D in the chat right now. The coolest thing anybody can say is, I'm from Detroit. You know who said that? Anthony Bourdain. That guy traveled a bit. He knew about coup cultures.
Rest in peace.
And shout out to Dullies. Yeah, he went to that Coney in Southeast, which people put up there with American and National, or not National, but American and Lafayette.
Lafayette's closed.
Right now.
now.
I mean, listen, they've had rats for years. They'll be back. They serve you the damn Coney.
Yeah,
Like,
everybody-
why
For
would everybody surprised?
10 years.
They
they'll
walk
be
out
back.
with their little schmucks on with the Conies, and they
I
hand them
think
to
it
you.
was their secret. That was the secret the
secret.
whole time. That was the secret the whole
I
time.
can talk for 2 hours on that whole topic.
But no, that is when anybody, an outsider ever comes to Detroit, I have my route down of what I take them to in Detroit. It's like, oh, we'll start off at Hitsville in Midtown.
Yeah,
I'll
right.
show you Hitsville. Then you hop on the
Straight
lodge.
history.
Here's the train station. Then you go past that. Here's Mexican Town. Then you circle back around. Here's downtown. And you take them to Belle Isle. Here's Belle Isle. Here's
Right,
the
it's the
aquarium.
island.
Like the loop
There's
is
Canada.
right. That's Canada over there.
Canada,
right?
that's okay.
Yeah, here's the oldest aquarium in the world.
Yeah.
Like, oh, let's go by Baker's. The oldest jazz bar in the entire country on Livernois. Like, there's just so many cool things to point to.
And Detroit's north of Canada. We're the only major city in the United States that's actually north of
South
Canada.
Detroit, fun fact,
South
is
Detroit.
Canada.
Yeah,
First
right.
time I ever brought in a DJ from overseas, from Amsterdam. We're driving from the airport to downtown. I had him staying at Greektown, and I was like, do you want the Detroit detour? He's like, yes. So I was surprised, but he loved it, man. I took him around a lot of those spots. He had his GoPro out, and it is cool because, like, it's one of those things where, like, a lot of people are afraid. I don't want to compare to, Iraq or Iran, but, like, people want to experience that, but they're afraid.
Right.
Yeah.
But once they get
That's why
there, they get
hip-hop's so
immersed
big.
and like, wow, look
Right.
at this beauty. And Detroit, man, it's come a long way, but it's always been that thing. Like you said, it's one of the coolest things you can say.
Can I real quick? Let me. When I went to Germany, it was 1994, so the wall had been down for about 4.5 years. When we went to the East Berlin side, I turned to my dad and I said, "Oh, we're home." It was still bombed out.
Yeah, listen, we're not without our faults.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
We've earned the reputation, but also, this is one of the best cities you'll ever come across.
right.
The best people you're ever
Real
going to come, and
talk.
the best sports fans
Real
you're
talk.
ever going to come across.
Whenever people ask me about like the violence, I'm like, it's concentrated. It's not everywhere. It's
Concentrated.
I just tell people don't be stupid.
Right.
Right?
That part.
Like, it's just
Yeah,
like anywhere you
that
go
part.
in the world,
Right.
don't be stupid and you should be fine.
Right.
Should be. I'm not going to guarantee it. You should be fine.
And remember, during all the protests about 4 years ago or however long ago it was, this was the one city that had no property damage and no violence.
Well, that's because we had a police chief that, and
Hands up
plan
to
that.
him.
And hats off to Trick too.
Trick.
Yeah.
Remember, he was down there when people were starting to gather and stuff. stuff, and like, hey, we ain't gonna do this to the city,
right? We're not doing this again.
Patriotic Detroiters.
But
man.
also, we learned our lesson in the 70s, I believe, from that. Like, burning down your own stuff doesn't help anybody. And it's not just your generation you're screwing up.
Right.
You're messing the city up for 40 years or so.
Right.
And that's what a lot of cities around the country are learning after they, hey, we're just going to break our own stuff. Cool. Like, all right, Kyle, punch the drywall. You still got to fix it on Monday.
Right. Kyle.
That's what I like. Those are just the people that punch drywall, right?
Yeah, right.
Like,
Kyle and his
I
monster.
know a guy named Kyle that punched a hole in my house.
See? Just when you think it's a stereotype, it's true.
all stereotypes have truth. It doesn't mean all stereotypes are true.
Where there's vape, there's Kyle.
Right. There's truth in Kyle.
Shout out Kyle in the Wayne County penal system.
Do we have that graphic of the best sports fans? Because we just talked about
Oh
this.
yeah,
right?
hang on. Here you go.
Let's talk about this.
You got it?
Hey.
There it is.
I'm
me
not
zoom
sure,
in on it.
not sure who
Here.
posted this, but I wholeheartedly agree because they're showing love to the Lions. Here's the best fan bases. And I kind of have a different take on this, and I kind of went viral in Green Bay because of my take.
Just once?
Several times. I pissed off Green Bay several times this year. One video got over 3 million views. They only have a population of 150,000, so I know they were hate-watching the hell out of me.
They'll be all right.
Because I said Green Bay can't have real football fans. Like, you can't be a real fan unless you've experienced the bottom. Because that's what will test your fandom, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it's real easy to be a fan of a winning team.
Right.
It really is. Like, oh, we're winning. Okay, cool. And you saw it this year with the Lions. The Lions are winning. All of a sudden, you can't get into Ford Field because it's real easy to be a fan of a 15-2 team. Real hard to be a fan of a 0-16 team. I was.
And they were
Anson
selling out
was.
games at 0-16.
They were still doing it. Pete was.
Yeah.
We all lived in the gutter, right? Like I quoted ICP. We live in the gutter and sell crack to each other.
How I like to say that people merely adopted the dark. We were born in it.
Ooh, my man Bain over there.
I never saw a winning team my entire life.
And that was my argument to Green Bay fans. Like, yeah, it'd be real easy to be a Green Bay fan. I wake up out of bed, we got our championships, and the only thing they could combat me with was their success. Well, we have this many trophies. I'm like, I know, that's why you're a fan.
Exactly.
Like, we have no trophies, and I'm a fan.
Lombardi,
we ain't even been there, and I'm a fan.
So, Pete, can you bring that graphic back up?
Sure, buddy.
Let's go beyond football. Because if you go beyond football, Buffalo's not up there anymore. Green Bay's not up there anymore. There's no more Supersonics. Are they excited about the Kraken up in the Pacific Northwest?
Right.
So I believe that the Detroit fan base should have a tier all to
all of
itself.
ourselves of what they've endured.
Right.
Probably us and the Browns, right?
Yeah.
The Browns have had it.
That's a good one.
I think the Browns have had it a touch worse than us.
They have.
Just because their franchise picked up and left and won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That same year.
What that would do to my soul.
Oh my goodness.
If the Lions picked
Not
up.
right. Now that'll cause a riot.
Oh my.
Trick couldn't stop that one.
The Tallahassee Lions win the Super Bowl.
Oh my God. Not flawed.
Oh my God, no.
Oh, that would hurt, man. That would
I'm
hurt.
gonna puke.
So that's why, like,
Look at Park Ricky.
Cleveland fans, I tip my cap to you as probably the only fans that have had it worse than Detroit.
I gotta give you some love on that. The mistake by the Lake have stuck by their team.
They do.
You saw how they were when LeBron finally won one for them. Right. I mean, but you look at them and it's like the Indians haven't won in forever. The Browns haven't won since the 40s.
The Cavaliers hadn't won forever until they finally did.
Yeah.
Until the NBA gifted
Until
them.
they gifted them, the LeBron title.
Hey, LeBron, we're going to give your team 2 number 1 overall picks. Then you can go back and win a championship.
Yeah, right.
I was like, where the good old days of Craig Elo and the old Cleveland Cavaliers?
Dude, those old Cavs jerseys with the baby blue.
The Craig Elo years.
They don't have a hockey team, so they're not up there.
Yeah.
But they got the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Well, let's
How did that end up there? The lamest city in the Union, and you're going to put the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame
in
there?
the Union.
I said Union. What about you?
I love it.
The year of our Lord and Savior, 2025 in the Union.
In the Union.
But throw that list back up there
You
because we
got it,
see
buddy
who's
boy.
at the top. I do find this interesting. 3 teams at the top reside in the NFC North.
Right.
That has something to do with Midwestern values, I believe. The only one outside of the Midwest, honestly, up there is Seattle. Then you look at the bottom. Panthers, they haven't had much to root for. Washington, I mean, their fans
That's
kind of popped
surprising
out.
to me.
Yeah, I feel like when Washington, I think they were still the Redskins then when I DJ'd a game there, and their fans showed up
At RFK.
Okay.
But they don't have any good teams in the 4 sports. The Bullets haven't been good ever since Wes Unseld was there. You know, the
Weber.
Nationals.
When Weber was there.
They got I like that 96 team.
Where Jordan was there?
Oh, yeah.
He was a wizard,
But then
though,
you got the Nationals and then, what is it, the Capitals still?
Yes.
You know, and I mean, none of those teams have ever really been very good.
And the Red Wings beat the Capitals.
I guess I'm looking at that list and the ones on the bottom that surprised me the most. I would have to say that Boston fans are a strong fan base. The Philly fans obviously are the worst fans in the world, but it's a strong fan base. Kansas City, I'm a little surprised to see so low. I mean, forget the Cowgirls and everything else in Dallas.
Yeah.
I'm glad Maz is here because I got no love for anything in New York. But I'm surprised to see a few of those teams in that second to bottom tier.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is one guy's opinion, so he probably has some bias built into him.
And it's based on football.
Arizona at the bottom makes a lot of sense to me. I mean, because nobody is from Phoenix. Everybody moves to Phoenix. Nobody's actually from there. I mean, maybe in 20 years,
Where were
people
the
will be from
the
Phoenix.
Vegas Raiders on?
Let me.
They were in the
bring it back
middle.
up.
Vegas was in the middle.
How?
They're in the middle there.
I mean, they got a
They
crazy
literally-
fan base. You see those dudes showing up with their, Demolition
the Raiders
Brothers.
fan base.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
The
that's
Raiders
fair.
fan base.
That's fair.
Whether it's L.A., Oakland, or Vegas, the Raiders fan base shows out.
I will say
You gotta
one thing about
respect them.
Kansas City: best smelling parking lot in all of because they. You know how we tailgate with like beers and like whatever that we bring? These people bring mini barbecues and they tailgate. And so the whole parking lot, which backs up to the Royals Stadium, Kauffman Stadium, Arrowhead and Kauffman are back to back. The whole parking lot just smells of beautiful barbecue, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, Kansas City knows their barbecue.
Yes, they do.
Tip of the cap
Yep.
to them. Tip of the cap to Les Stanford. Tell us about him,
Hey,
Anson.
there you go.
Right. Hey, once again, it is that time of year to get yourself in a new car, and there is no better time than the Les Stanford Sign and Drive Sale. No security deposit, nothing due at signing, no first payment, and no acquisition fee. And that can get you into a 2024 Envision for only $239 or a 2025 Sierra Crew Cab Elevation for only $249 a month, or get into that awesome Hummer EV SUV for only $789 per month. Get to Les Stanford today and check out their massive inventory at the Sign and Drive Sale. Les Stanford Buick NGMC, lesstanford.com.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media. And we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Head to WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com. Detroit has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network.
You hate Canada? Come hate watch Canada versus Team USA as we let them know who runs the globe. is going down. RJ's Pub, Rochester Hills. We're going to be out there, live watch party tomorrow night starting at 8 o'clock. Come. Pete is going to be dressed in his USA thong. It's going to be amazing. We have a live bald eagle that's going to be there ripping the head off a goose. You want to come see it live, you got to be at RJ's Pub tomorrow night in Rochester Hills.
Just to clarify, it will be a Canadian goose.
Yes.
There it is.
Are there
We ain't
American
talking about
geese?
the coat.
Are there American geese?
It's a good question. I shall Google.
If so, I'm sure it's better. Welcome back to Ermanni and Edwards with Matt.
American buff goose.
That's right. There you go.
The buffs on. The goose with the buffs on. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, y'all goose ain't got buffs on.
Our goose is on that creatine.
Geese.
Detroit Lions. Mock draft season is here. It's fun now that we're not doing mock draft season in October with the Lions like we used to.
Right.
And here we are. Mock drafts are coming out. Sports Illustrated put this one out. Not going to go through the 27 picks in front of the Lions. That's one of the things I'm going to miss, is being like, well, the 4 players in front of the Lions could be, and then our 5th pick. We're not going to see a 5th pick for a long time, folks. We ain't going to be back in that shallow water for a very, very long time. But with that being said, there's a lot of goodies that fall in the draft, because sometimes the quarterback position gets hot, sometimes the wide receiver position gets hot, sometimes they go on a run, and you can get some really good, potentially top 10 players that drop to you. And the guy that Sports Illustrated is saying that the Lions may get, they're saying our biggest need is edge, wide receiver, and cornerback. And then they say our pick should be a defensive tackle. So, all right. Derek Harmon out of Oregon. And I absolutely love this pick. It's not often that the first mock draft out of the gate gets me juiced, but this is a pick that would get me juiced. This guy is a set it and forget it. Put him in the middle, let him clog up, let him be a monster type guy. And when you can add that to this already good defense when healthy, we got to put the caveat when healthy. I love this pick for the Detroit Lions, and I think everybody will agree that if Brad Holmes is spending draft capital, you want to see it on the defensive line.
Mm-hmm. I didn't hear the name you said.
Derek Harmon.
Derek
The
Harmon.
defensive tackle from Oregon. Prior to Oregon, Harmon spent all 3 seasons at Michigan State. How do you not know this guy, Anson?
I didn't hear the name you
He's
said.
from Detroit.
Yep.
Beyond the allure of potential homecoming, Harmon is one of college football's best pass rushers this past season. He's a scheme versatile, can play up and down the line of scrimmage, and wins with both quickness and physicality. Harmon finished tied for 3rd in the nation with 43 hurries, and he had 55 pressures. The Lions need immediately help up front, and Harmon from their own backyard is ready to deliver. That's why I love this pick. You get the hometown aspect. Another dude out of Oregon, which you've had success with Penei Sewell, and you've had success drafting in that area. You know, Oregon and Alabama, I'm all for it. And the difference to me about drafting a defensive tackle out of Oregon now compared to 2 years ago, this ain't Pac-12 Oregon. He's going up against big dog offensive linemen every week now in the Big Ten. Yeah. He's going up against Michigan. He's going up against Ohio State. He's going so it's not Pac-12. This is real man's football on the trenches here in Big Ten territory. That's why I love this pick.
Well, I've got 5 guys, and I'm going to pretty much guarantee that the Lions will end up with one of these 5 guys, and Harmon is on that list. Of course, we all know, and we're very familiar with the Kenneth Grant. Harmon is probably a little more angled towards the 2nd round, whereas Grant is right there in that sweet spot. I've seen him at 30. I've seen him at 26. We're picking 28. Walter Nolan is a guy that's probably a little higher, could slip, or you could see the Lions make another draft day deal to be able to move up to get him. And then 2 other guys would be Jack Sawyer and JT Tuimoloau. So I think one of those 5 guys, there's some edge guys in this draft, but the better edge guys are up in the top half. We talked about this yesterday. Lions fans want an edge. It's all we've been talking about, especially since Hutch went down, and as well as when Davenport went down. The edge guys this year that are going to be there in the end of the first round, I just don't see being the impact players that we can find at the end of this round. This is a year that is very rich in interior defensive linemen. And when you see the lack of depth exposed the way it was this past season, I think that that's absolutely where the Lions, are going to pick and might even double down in the first 2 rounds.
Well, you're not far off. I mean, a couple of the guys you named are listed around the Lions on this SI mock draft. Baltimore Ravens, 27 right in front of us, Walter Nolan, like you mentioned. And then you're looking at Washington Commanders right behind us, Jack Sawyer, like you mentioned. I don't want Jack Sawyer just for the fact that he's a crybaby. I don't want to see him plant the flag again. Like, to me, I will never be able to look at that guy the same. I look at him like Caleb Williams jumping in the stands and crying to his mom after the game in USC.
Right.
Like, I don't want that dude on my field.
Nails.
If I had my pick, because I don't think that Nolan will be there, it is a Wolverine. It is Kenneth Grant.
You like Kenneth Grant?
I think that he is absolutely the type of human being that Dan and Brad have been finding, that they know will fit right in. And he's already got some familiarity with Hutch, obviously, but I would love to see that guy stick here. Either one of him or Harmon, both the Michigan guys, to be able to keep either one of them here, I think it would be a huge boon to our defensive line.
Any specialty players that you think the Lions should add? We know the offense clicks, but if there's a wide receiver that happens to fall that you're high on, would you be upset if Brad Holmes went that route?
No, not at all. In fact, I think that they will be going after a speedy but big receiver. We've been hearing some rumors out of New York that AG is hot after Tim Patrick, and he might not come back. He's an older guy,
right,
but if you can find some gold in the 4th round in a 6'3" speedy receiver, all of a sudden it lets you really kind of look at re-signing J-Mo versus a Kirby and some of the other guys that we're talking about re-signing, Hutchinson included. So I absolutely believe that a big-bodied, quick receiver will be a later pick for this Lions team this season.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
It's also a massively deep running back draft. I know that we did extend Monty, and obviously Jameer's going to be up in a couple of years.
Vaki last year. Do you really want to spend draft capital on another running back?
My thing, I don't want to. Sione, as much as I was on him, I thought that he was going to be more of a defensive player and a guy that you might see in some trickery out of the backfield and on special teams. We didn't see much of Sione. We don't really know what we have in Sione. The reason I bring up the running backs is because this class is just so damn deep. It's really, really a fantastic running back class.
Well, once again, I'm in the camp of Brad Holmes can do no wrong. So, if Brad Holmes wants to go running back first round, I'll be like, man, that was probably the right pick.
Yeah,
if
right.
Brad Holmes wants to go defensive end, I'll be like, that was probably the right pick. He's earned that equity with me.
The fan base would lose their marbles if he drafted a running back in the first round.
Yeah, they did when he drafted Jahmyr Gibbs, and how'd that work out for you? So, I mean, you can question the man up and down, but the results will be on the field. The one thing he does have working against him is you could argue that his last draft class was his worst draft class. Which is more of a credit to his others.
You're not wrong.
But
you're not wrong.
You need a couple years to see if that works. So, mock draft season is here. You're going to get a heck of a lot of them here at Woodward Sports.
Can't wait.
Thank you guys for being a part of the conversation today. Braylon will be back in tomorrow. For myself, Pete, of course, Ricky Burns, and Anson Wells. We are out of here. Have a great day. Thank you for watching Woodward Sports. The heavyweights are up next.